Alex Macqueen, welcome to the kitchen.
Cheers, my lord.
Fantastic. Good coffee.
Bloody especially when it's free.
Yeah, it is the best type of coffee.
Yeah.
But welcome to you joined us as our head of humour, which is wonderful.
Very grand.
We're delighted to have you here. And I thought, being analysing humour that we're doing at the kitchen, we should pinpoint last night was a big night in advertising. It was the night of the Super Bowl in the United States of America.
Yes.
Apparently the airtime this year, a record-breaking $8 million per 30-second slot.
Right.
So the clients, if you want to get an ad on air during the Super Bowl, you're spending $8 million before you've even produced anything, just to air it.
And how much would it cost to produce one?
Well, because it's that
obviously
high, and you'll see that celebrities have historically been heavily involved in Super Bowl ads. And in America, unlike here, the ads are very much loved. So apparently 50% of American families would say they watch the Super Bowl for the ads.
And is that because they're at this moment they are at their premium?
Yeah.
In terms of production value.
And I don't know if you've ever been to the States and watched TV, most of the ads are pretty terrible.
You're right. They're quite pedestrian and informational.
Have you spoken to your doctor about this medication?
Good.
So it can be quite miserable. But at the top end, when you're spending $8 million, the ads have been, I think, some of the best ads in the world are created out of the years.
Out of the Super Bowl.
And so I've picked out, with a humour slant, 8 of the ads that are most talked about.
These are the ones you think are funny.
One
to a
that
degree.
or merit or discussion over humour.
Fine.
And they're ones that have been talked about a lot. They're featuring very interesting people. So I just thought, should we have a go
absolutely.
through them and
Delightful.
talk about them? I'd love to
course.
get. And you genuinely haven't seen any of them?
I've not seen any of these.
Amazing.
I know that David Beckham is in the mix somewhere,
good,
and I
yes,
think
yes, he's
Harold and Sally have come back.
Harry
to,
and Harold. Oh, yes,
Harry
yes, yes, that's
I've
coming
heard
up.
these, but I've not seen them.
Right. Okay. Well, let's kick off. I'm going straight into the first one, which I think is they've done an interesting thing here. This is Uber Eats with a bunch of celebrities and famous football history. Let's have a look at this one.
It has been a banner year for the National Football League, or should I call it the National Football League? From the very beginning,
that's
football has
Matthew
been a
McConaughey.
conspiracy to make us hungry.
And we'll call this a pigskin. Make people crave bacon. Bacon.
And everybody loves bacon.
I love bacon.
They do anything to sell food.
Coach, how come we only play on Sundays?
Because nobody's eating ice cream Saturdays, kid. Jeez. So the Packers were named after meat packers.
So what should we call the fans, Coach?
Cheeseheads, of course. Why do you think Buffalo got a team?
These wings deserve a team.
Yeah. I figured out a good team name for Buffalo, Bill. Buffalo. Buffalo.
And their biggest game? Come on.
Our championship will be a Super Cup.
Can't eat out of a cup, Ted, but a bowl? How about a Super Bowl?
And we'll start naming players after appliances.
Hey, Coach, do I have to be called refrigerator?
Yes. And Peyton? He was a beef salesman.
Omaha!
Steak.
Omaha!
Steak. And they're still playing.
like
This
that.
year, we're not even hiding it anymore. We have Super Bowl licks. With a halftime show presented by an apple. In a stadium named after
A salad!
Matthew,
Yeah. Hey.
sorry, you want me to make a movie about a football conspiracy?
Yes.
No.
Come on, Greta.
No.
Bacon's in.
Everybody loves bacon.
No one believes that football is just some conspiracy to sell food.
Food! When football makes you hungry, order Uber Eats.
What do you think?
It's good. Clearly, it's good. There's clearly an arms race in terms of getting celebrities to participate in these, and that gives it obviously a major gravitas, and they're aligning themselves with that brand. So that's quite a big call in its own right. In terms of the humour, I laughed twice in terms of it being funny.
Yep.
As in, that's actually funny. And I think the moments for me there were the moment where he's sort of jiggling his hip and saying steak. And the Kevin Bacon, that reference. Those two, that makes me laugh. The rest of it is fun. And I think there is a distinction between something that's funny and fun.
But I think that what I love particularly about this is that they've done a brilliant job of assembling a completely silly story about American football.
Yeah.
So for Uber Eats, this conspiracy that American football was only ever created to make you hungry. And then I think in knowing that the Kevin Bacon line would land so well that they could play it twice, and writing that in from the start. There's lots of little lovely food jokes, and I also love Booker T in the MG with green onions. Just gives it that lovely little just positive feel through the whole thing as music track. But it's really nice. Yeah, I love. This is my.
Well, that's again, my not a verdict exactly, but fun more than funny. And I think that distinction is a valuable one to sort of keep in your mind.
So with celebrities in mind, let's move on.
Yeah.
Second ad I've got is for a beer called the Ultra. It's called the Ultra Hustle. I won't say anymore.
We'll do 2 Michelob Ultras.
Excuse me, would you consider playing us?
For the Ultras.
Oh, we're kind of at a high level.
Fascinating.
You guys sure you want this?
Please serve. That was fun. Play for those ultras.
They got Ultras.
Whip it real hard. Whip it real hard.
You know we're professional athletes, right?
What sport?
Every day I'm hustling.
I smell Ultra.
Play for an ultra.
Speak forth. What did you make of it?
So I think there's no way that the client's going to be unhappy with the amount of branding throughout. I mean, the whole joke is based on the two of them hustling for winning Ultra. So beer is just littered through, which is quite nice, because often in a beer ad it'll be a long shaggy dog story, a little humorous thing that ends and you land the beer, but it could be any beer.
Right.
So they've done a good job of absolutely instilling. I mean, these two. I mean, how can you not like Defoe and O'Hara with it? I mean, they're lovely. Ending ruined for me though. This cheesy. They broken.
Do you think it's cheesy? Because I think it's slightly ironic. I think she's being quite ironic with it.
Yeah.
But I suppose also you don't want to be too ironic with the brand, otherwise you're sort of confusing funny with silly, and you don't want the brand to be a silly brand. I didn't actually realise they were hustling for beer. I thought it was these two older people are challenging two younger people to a sport, and who is likely to be the winner? The younger. But no, because they drink Ultra, they're going to be far superior in their skill set. That's what I.
I don't think that's how it's written, but you're right. You'll get that.
But they're hustling for this beer. Yeah.
Fun. So, but fun, not funny.
It's thrilling to see two megastars, as it were, in an advert. Would I remember it? Not necessarily in terms of, that was a really, really funny advert.
Good.
No, I wouldn't. But But still, again, it's fun.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you Muppets love or loathe? What's your view on the Muppets?
Well, I love the Muppets. I have a particular fondness for Miss Piglet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I like Miss Piggy.
found Miss Piggy a little bit annoying.
I like
Kermit was my favourite. Kermit and
No, I find Kermit naive.
Okay.
I find Miss Piggy a naughty piece of work.
I've got a lovely surprise for you. So this is a spot for Booking.com.
With hotels and vacation rentals, Booking.com has something for everyone.
Seashells! You got anything more boutique?
Oui, right this way.
Now we're talking.
What about something more family friendly?
Maybe a resort with a water park?
Or somewhere less family friendly?
Yep, one Vegas hotel for the bride-to-be.
What if we hate everything?
We have free cancellation. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, Booking.com.
Yeah.
So short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I love the... Now, who is that character right at the end? Elmo, is it?
No, Gonzo. Is it Gonzo? Gonzo. Yeah, Gonzo with the big nose.
That makes it for me.
Yeah!
His connection to the air is genius. I was confused by the fact that they brought in a genuine family alongside the Muppet family. I was confused by that. I think they maybe could have just kept fully with the Muppet family.
Yeah, if you've paid for that equity, and there's such a variance of characters between the Muppets.
Yeah.
Could they have not just landed the Muppets through each of the vignettes? And obviously the Muppets did have real people in the thing, but and maybe there was probably a remit in the brief. They needed to show variants of different holiday types, whether it's a hen weekend or a family break or something. But yes, I felt I didn't
think that knitted together as well as it could have, perhaps. But in terms of its final signature, that is worth every penny. Yeah.
So next up, this has been massively hyped, massively talked about. Have you heard of?
Oh, right. If this is Sir David Beckham, then I have heard, and that I think. Well, we can come back to that. Actually, I've got a point to make about. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know who the surprise?
No, I don't.
There was a lovely build up to this. We'll talk about it afterwards. But here's Stella Artois.
Mum, Dad?
We have something to tell you.
You have a twin brother we never told you about.
Oh, sorry.
So? What's his name?
Other David.
You called him Other David?
If there's two Davids, one has to be Other David.
Where is he?
Left him in America.
Are you...
Beckham. Dave Beckham.
No way.
Hey, what'd you say your name was?
David.
Try one of these. That is the best buffalo wing in the county.
You eat buffalo?
No, it's just chicken. It was invented in Buffalo, the city.
So it's not buffalo.
You all right, man?
Still got it? Come on, guys. Sorry, it's a thing I do.
You drink Stella?
I have taste, David.
There's something I have to tell you.
My brother is a famous soccer player?
Yeah.
So how famous are you? Like Matt Damon famous?
Maybe Ben Affleck famous.
That's a shame.
So, I mean, obviously two giants.
Yeah, so what were you going to tell me about this?
Well, so there was a build-up before, and I'd noticed in the weeks preceding where there was a reveal that David Beckham's parents had revealed that there was a twin brother that he didn't know.
And so was it revealed last night?
Yeah, this is the unfortunate thing. This actually came out last week, so I thought brilliant would be to place Matt Damon in the Super Bowl, so you don't know who. There's a big, but I suspect that's what they plan to do. But there's so much hype before the Super Bowl of what the ads are. There's probably a lot of pressure on releasing, and I don't know to what aftermath there is of chat. So it may well be they thought, let's just release it early.
They could have revealed the brother on the night, last night, as being Matt Damon, but they didn't. They actually revealed it. Okay.
They came out on Thursday or Friday last week.
Which could have been a strategic decision because you'll get more coverage through chatting about...
Yeah, now what do you think about the performance? Because obviously David Beckham famously a block of wood on camera.
Well, you say that, and I think, he is not a RADA-trained actor by any means, but he is. He's clearly... he can perform in front of crowds of tens of thousands, so he's not going to be camera shy in any sense of the word. He's not that bad. I think the only difficulty is when you're suddenly up against Matt Damon, who is very subtle in the way he throws away, especially that last line about Ben Affleck. Oh, that's a shame. He does that with great aplomb.
Yeah.
And so when you're up against someone like him, it does show some of the perhaps shortcomings, but he's not appalling. I thought the parents were very well cast.
Brilliant.
Because they're a perfect combination of clearly not very good actors, but probably very good actors to perform. Not very good because they're parents of Beckham. I thought they were the genuine parents.
I had to look it up. And they are actors, but they look exactly right. They're good looking, but not so. They look model. They look like they're his real parents. So that's great casting from them. Great performance from them. I thought it's very carefully directed and scripted. David doesn't have any of the jokes. So he's very much playing in a double act. He's playing the straight guy, and Matt Damon's given all the kind of. And I love Matt Damon's line on, "Are you okay? Are you all right, mate?
He gets two very good.
It's almost he can play into the fact that David's reacting so little, and it's been so I think I think it's, for what it is. It's good,
I think that's a good ad, and it's packing into that 30 seconds. Was it 30 seconds? Maybe
that was a bit longer. That was a full.
But still, you're packing a lot into something to get two very good laughs and a very entertaining conceit.
Excellent.
Which is
So on the theme of non-trained actors, our good friend and chef Gordon Ramsay from the United Kingdom, also famous in the US now, in a spot for a saucepan. Let's put it this way.
We've made contact with a new alien species, and apparently they're foodies.
Oh, foodies. The worst.
Mr. Ramsey, we'll need you to cook for them. You'll have access to everything the Area 51 test kitchen has to offer, including top secret alien cooking technology.
Wait. That's just a Hex-Lab pan. I've got these at home.
Unfortunately, it was leaked 8 years ago. The pan was developed using material from an alien spacecraft.
What?
Extremely durable, but low friction. Created to deal with a thick egg-like atmosphere.
You're saying the pan I used to fry my bacon is made out of flying saucers?
We don't have time for a science lesson, Mr. Ramsey. The alien ambassador is already here.
Whoa.
Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude?
You're an alien?
All famous people are aliens.
I'm not.
I meant like really famous people.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Huh?
Hex-Lab.
Clearly, a clever conceit in terms of this pan has been invented decades ahead of time, decades ahead of its time.
Technology.
I think some of the comedy has been lost potentially through the edit, not necessarily being as lean as it could have been. Cutaways to the three aliens laughing at Gordon Ramsay.
Yes,
it interferes in the sweep and the pace of it.
It's like it's this is a funny bit. Now you laugh because there's an audience laughing.
Yeah.
So you need to laugh now.
And
help.
Yeah, and actually, a good friend of mine who's in the comedy world once said the best advice he was given was, if it's going well on stage, get off. If it's going badly on stage, get off. And I think that speaks to the swiftness and speed of editing when it comes to comedy material. Yeah. That speed is a great bedfellow.
Yeah, and there was some pregnant pauses in there that just felt slightly, it could have been sharper. It would have made it funnier when we got to but Gordon's performance was good.
I enjoyed Gordon's performance. I mean, he is an actor to a degree. Let's face it, he's got these tremendously successful shows. Yeah. So he's actually, I think he's a good performer in that.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Good, lovely. Well, talk about performance and actors. So there's a huge amount of hype about this next one. It's a spot for Hellman's.
Now I've heard about this. Yeah. I've not seen it, but I've heard about it. Yeah. Because it's a big callback to incredibly famous
scene.
Yes,
35 years ago.
Okay.
When Harry met Sally. So let's have a look how they've done it.
I can't believe they let us back in this place.
What? No good?
No.
Oh. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
So good. Oh, it's so.
This one's real.
Oh. Woo. And that is a sandwich. I'll have what she's having.
So, yeah, did you spot Sydney Sweeney there at the end?
I saw a person. From the tone of your voice, she is incredibly famous. Absolutely, of course. It's a great
massive scene.
It's a very good conceit again to reprise that. To reprise that sequence. Obviously, the original is much longer and gives you a lot more time to pick out comic nuances. So I wouldn't have said I don't think it's particularly funny.
No,
but I think it's very clever to have aligned themselves with that historic or iconic sequence. I didn't find it funny in the way that I do find the original very, very funny.
Yeah.
In terms of the final line, I'll have what she's having. I think, there could have been there could have been more variety in the takes there that they could have harvested from.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty plain, understated, and actually, it would have been better perhaps for that performance to have just a little wink of irony to the audience to go, we all know what we're getting at.
Yeah,
and I think it would have been my only
fair point. I felt it slightly, just because I loved the original, so I felt it slightly cringe.
I didn't like the moment where he says, this is a real one.
Exactly. That totally real, because obviously the whole thing is about a fake orgasm. And it was, at the time, it was taboo. It was like put a fake orgasm in a film?
It's outrageous and very.
Now we've seen guys masturbating pies. We've seen you masturbate. I mean, there's
wow.
So
can we just be very clear to the listener and viewer that
actually, what was the thing you masturbated in? That's the only thing my wife's actually seen you do.
Right, it's a show called Sally Forever.
Yeah,
but I've also done something similarly outrageous in a show called Hunderby.
Right,
but this was actually a
bottle
bottle of
for about 90 seconds solidly on.
It was a bottle of Cusson's hand cream that was shot with such vigour into Reece Shearsmith's eyebrows, it blew them off. But that's for another time.
Actually, there is an ad with the eyebrows flying up, but we're not going to show
we'll
that.
Come back to that.
I don't think it's funny enough.
So what's next?
Well, now this is kind of interesting. Bud Light. This is. Let's watch.
Let's see it. Yeah.
You gonna go fishing tomorrow? I got a colonoscopy tomorrow.
Like a wheeze.
I accidentally threw a lame party.
Okay, Ted.
They're on their way.
They're here.
Ooh.
You call this a party?
Cul-de-sac party.
Launch. These beers are a metaphor for an invitation.
Is that our leaf blower? Party at the sack.
You are cordially invited to the end of the cul-de-sac.
This is incredible.
Your mower smokes meat?
Oh, a smoker cuts grass.
Hell yeah.
I spent most of my money on this. New rig, fully custom.
How many Bud Lights can you fit in that puppy?
As many Bud Lights as it takes.
A lot of Bud Lights. This cul-de-sac's popping.
Bill, get off the boat. The HOA's already breathing down my neck.
My first reaction to that is a technical reaction.
Good.
And it's the bugbear especially as an actor, one of the bugbears that I loathe is what I think called ADR. Which is additional dialogue recording, which is where you go in after you've shot something and say the lines again with more clarity and to make them cleaner and more hearable, if that's the better. And I hate doing it because you've got to try and match you've got to lip sync it, and you've got to try and find the same performance. It's loathsome. But in this instance, I think it would have benefited massively from more clarity on the dialogue. There was half of that I didn't actually really hear and comprehend.
Okay.
Perhaps that's because of the soundtrack was being so front and centre. I mean, exactly, which is thrilling.
Did you like skateboarding in the 80s?
Oh, I was no skateboarder, old fruit. So I would say. What did you make of it?
So I mean, I think as I understand, Bud Light have made a step change. Rather than trying to target younger people, they've gone. We know our heartland is dads.
Fair enough.
It's a kind of older male. So they've just gone right. Let's just
dads.
Burn a fire for dads, and the kind of garden. So it's riddled with dad jokes. If one is the whole how's your bite, how you're cooking around, all the kind of classic thing that dads do at a barbecue, where they all compare each other at the barbecue and what the barbecue technology is and all that. So I did like the execution of the line. Is that a leaf blower? There's lovely that have just dropped sort of deadpan. What are these guys doing? But it's a little bit of reality against the hyperbole.
I did also find funny, and I shouldn't find it funny, the exhortation underneath saying, "This is a professional stunt, do not repeat at home." I thought, is that a joke? Because it's clearly something you're not going to just drive your mower through a fence, but it's probably a genuine disclaimer.
There are lawyers in America as well.
Okay.
So last up.
Is this the last?
Yeah, last up I think is definitely worthy of merit. It's for Mountain Dew. And it features a singer called Seal in an interesting way. So let's have a look at this.
Great.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Refreshing.
It's kissed by the perfect amount of tropical lime.
Yes, that's terrific. I love it. Great facial expression.
Then just crack on.
There
me so much as he can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my fame.
Well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast, a blast of tropical lime.
Good looking seal.
None of this makes sense.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, fun as
I think it's ingenious. It's extremely inventive. They're clearly using this brand new world of AI. I thought his performance, Seal's performance in it is, if that is him. I mean, I don't know whether that's. But one piece of total ingeniousness was the recalibration of the lyrics.
Yes.
And it seemed absolutely seamless, which was great. I thought they probably made an error right at the very end. Gosh, that sounds pompous. Of putting a hat on a hat. I think they put there was a clear nod to the fact that this is just so peculiar. They did that once, and that's brilliant. They could have ended there.
Yeah.
They then come back to find Seal in real life on the boat, and again another. Gosh, this is so weird. And I think you didn't need to do that. Again, in comedy, the economy of it is really important. It takes quite a bit of courage to just go, people will get this.
Yeah.
So that's an example, I think, of, as they say, putting a hat on a hat.
Lovely. No, I completely agree. So looking at that, there's lots more. We could have seen flying moustaches.
Okay.
There's laptops thrown into gardens. There were so many different things that we could have. I featured a few. I just wanted to run some. What's your favourite of the ones we've seen?
Well, I think I've just said it. I think that is my favourite. It's not clever. It's ingenious. Well, that doesn't make it doesn't make sense. Ingenious. But it's not. The conceit isn't there in the way that it is with the Harry Met Sally.
Sure.
And the hustling conceit.
Yep.
With what's her name?
Catherine
O'Hara and Willem Dafoe. I would say that's my favourite. But does that make it the best?
Well, yes.
That's in the proof of that is in the pudding, because although we may enjoy these and find them funny and fun, the crucial thing is how many sales are made off the back of that, because a lot of money goes into that, and ultimately, as we know, it's all about getting products off the shelves.
It's interesting you say that, because I've been reflecting on that. As I think, if I'm honest, I look back to previous Super Bowl commercials, the greats, the words out, Budweiser, things that became absolutely iconic in society and became comical things, that rhythms that people and that doesn't feel like I don't feel like I'm getting it. But is it because it's $8 million for 30 seconds? So brands are going, this has got to work for our bottom line.
Yep.
This is costing us a lot of money. We're paying however many $1 million for these celebrities as well. Yeah. So that there's a massive pressure on performance. So whilst it's an artistic game, it's also very much an efficiency.
And that's always going to be, coming from a purely sort of more drama comedy background, we've got the time and space to really indulge all those comic fibres and dramatic fibres. Whereas with advertising, you can't do that. You've got to play to the client's needs.
As well as
as much as you can use those comic fibres, great, but ultimately it's got to sell products.
Absolutely. Super fun. Thank you, Alex,
for
chatting through the Super Bowl. Why don't we keep talking about this and maybe try and find some other people to chat about what makes stuff funny? Or
maybe some sort of interview thing, podcast.
What
about we could do? Well, I've not hosted one before, but maybe we could.
Well,
let's give it a go.
You would need to dress up a little bit smart. You look like you've just come out of a sort of changing room.
Rude. Very rude.
So why don't we dress?
Well, I'll put a shirt.
Find a shirt, nice smart shirt. Well,
this is very smart.
Should we? Well, yeah.
Anyway, there we go.
If we could get people like maybe a director or an actor, a comedian, a stand-up. So let's try and understand from people that really have mastered the craft of humour what makes stuff funny and do a podcast.
I think that's an idea. I think that's a great idea.
Sounds like fun. Well, look, to everyone who's bothered to see through 8 wonderful commercials.
I think it's down there.
Oh, yes. Okay,
come on, old fruit.
Thank you very much.
We're going to do it properly.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers, old fruit.
Cheers. Have a lovely day.